trim my beard. It's getting gangly.
We can Gandalf the White soon. We should just let it grow.
Yeah, that's because GCX. You want like a big... I don't like it like that. Ever since I hung out with Elohim and he had to like do this to drink beer with us, I was like,
but like you keep that nice and trimmed.
Fu Manchu.
No. You just like you keep that part trimmed, and then like this part grows out.
It's still a pain in the ass to maintain.
Yeah, I know, but like, what else are you gonna do?
Keep it short.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you love Lord of the Rings,
I do.
so
That was
why
a
not
wig, though.
Just embrace it. You could be a wizard. You could wear a floppy hat. You love wearing hats. You're essentially a wizard.
I did like Pool's hat.
Yeah. So if I got you a floppy hat, would you grow out your beard? Like if I got
Maybe.
you the same hat that Pool Shark got, would you grow out your beard? After GCX.
Maybe for a charity incentive, I would.
Oh. Speaking of charity incentives, you guys should head on over to the gcxevent.com website and get your charity marathon t-shirt, because by the time you hear this website or you hear this episode, the website should be live and ready to go for you to purchase your GCX charity marathon t-shirt.
Shameless plugs. It's not shameless because half the money goes to
It goes
St.
to a
Jude
good
Children's
cause. It goes like we are able to pay for the cost of making the shirt, and the rest of the money goes to St. Jude. So it's just one more way to help out all the awesome kids and to continue our mission to raising $10 million by 2033.
Yeah, but we've already put a dent in that. So
yeah, so like we're like $8 million to 2033. So like, make it happen. Welcome to Star Wars and Scotch.
Also, get your tickets to GCX. There, we got the ad out before we did the intro.
Look at that, dude. Yeah, welcome to Star Wars and Scotch, episode 176.
176.
It's Tim. Yep. It's Kevin.
Hello.
Good morning.
There's not a lot of Star Wars news, but episode 5 of The Acolyte was an episode.
What a banger.
We'll get into that in just a minute. Hey, don't say that, Tim. You could get in big trouble for liking this show.
Yeah, I already got some flack for it. That's all right.
Why?
We'll talk about it more, but why are people so concerned with what other people enjoy? I don't
know. I mean, like, I'm also
understand it.
You know, the one thing that I am really concerned about people enjoying, though, Kevin, is coffee. So you should head on over to kingscoastcoffee.com and you should get yourself some delicious roast to order King's Coast coffee.
I didn't do this on purpose.
The way you wake up and look at Kevin's chest. If you're watching on the video format, Kevin did chest day yesterday, so he's feeling really good about his tatas.
Squeak, squeak.
Yep. So the titties are out for the boys, and he's put ads all over them. So kingscoastcoffee.com. We should be flipping on over to Summer Swell. We did. Summer Swell's out. It's another fruity, light, just very, very summery roast. It's actually one of the more popular ones for me to make into cold brew. I like doing the Spring Surge and Summer Swell are like my favorite to do for cold brew because they're fruity, they're fun, they're light, delicious, delicioso.
Also go like my Huck 2 video.
Oh yeah, Kevin's been doing socials for this week.
I'm done now.
Now it's back to Ben.
I think it goes back to Wayne.
Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Pete.
He's in Pete's.
Come on.
Have you met Pete for more than 5 minutes?
You want to see a dead body? King's Coast Coffee.
It's just him staring at the camera going, no. Wayne's in Dallas. He's doing that coffee cocktail thing.
What coffee cocktail thing? Oh, is the competition thing?
Yeah. The one, I think that's tied to the thing where because Wayne raised.
Are we allowed to talk about this thing? Is this all like NDA or something?
I don't know. I don't know the name of it.
You're being very cryptic, so I wasn't sure.
I don't know the name of it. I know the specifics. But Wayne also raised like $3,000 for St. Jude on his channel too, which I thought was really cool.
Everything helps.
kingscoastcoffee.com. All right, let's dive into it.
Cool.
Let's get it going.
This is a good one. This is a great episode.
Well, first, I would like to say that Andor Season 2 has reportedly...
Okay, Andor Season 2.
They're bringing Bette Mendelsohn in to reprise his role as director critic for Andor season 2. Also, the internet is speculating from multiple sources that not all, but a few of the characters will be from Rogue One will be in.
God, I
Andor
hope
season
we
2.
see like a Jin, like an early Jin or so.
Also,
So did you ever read? The Cataclysm? Did you ever read Cataclysm?
Yeah, I read Cataclysm.
What did you
The
think?
High Republic.
No,
one, right?
sorry, no, it's not that one. It's not Cataclysm. Shit, there's so many books. What is it? Hold on. It's what is the prequel to Rogue One? It's a book.
I did not read it.
Hold on. Now it's gonna bug me, and everyone's gonna be yelling. I'm sure someone's already like, "It's this one." There's so many books to remember.
Catalyst.
Catalyst. Have you read Catalyst?
I have not read Catalyst.
Okay, so Catalyst is great because it
I'll add
tells
it to
you
the
it
list.
tells you the whole story of Galen and how Galen gets tricked by Krennic
Oh, you did tell me about this.
into developing the weapon system for the Death Star. He makes him think that he's building a new energy system out of Kyber. And he's like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be like this reusable energy source that'll be for the Outer Rim. All these places that the backwater planets that need all this help. So he thinks he's doing a bunch of good, when in fact he's helping develop the beam of death from the Death Star, which is awesome. So hopefully Andor kind of plays into that book because it's really good. They do a great job of setting up the movie. A must read. I would highly recommend.
While I was reserving that, I see that Tempest Breaker,
Yeah, that's coming out soon, isn't it?
yeah, which I think is the sequel to the drama, the live radio drama
Yeah.
for Lorna D.
Uh-huh.
So I just pre-ordered that one. What else is coming out?
There's a lot of High Republic stuff coming out soon.
I really want to read Legends. I did you read Living Force?
No.
It's rough. I figured something.
So I'm going
it
to pass
starts
on
out-
it then, and you tell me about it.
It started out so strong because I thought it was going to be about Anakin and not Anakin, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And they're barely in it. It's focused on this random planet. It's a boring book. I'm sorry. I really wanted to like it. I tried. It's just boring.
Yikes.
It's been a slog to get through. Started off so strong and it's picking up again with 2 hours left, but it's a 16-hour book.
Ugh.
So
14 hours of just blech. Sounds
I'm
rough.
not a fan. I'm not a fan, unfortunately. I hope you're enjoying it, but for me, this one was a dud.
All right.
So
Usually you
on
and
to
I are
next
on the
book.
same page when it comes to books. So
Yeah. So, also for Andor, he's in Star Tours now
what do you mean?
at Disney.
Yeah, what do you mean? Like he's in it? What do you mean he's in it?
He's one of the permeations you can get in Star
Like
Tours.
his
'cause
world or like him? Like Cassian shows
him,
up?
like Cassian will show up and be
Oh,
like,
that's sick.
we need to get to wherever, blah, 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 from the Empire. And then,
Good Cassian. I like that one.
because we got Ahsoka last time we went.
Oh, cool.
And Hunter was the rebel spy again. 2 years in a row, Tim.
That's profiling.
It's the kids. They go for the kids to make it fun for them.
It's profiling.
Which, I don't know about you, but if I was a kid and that happened, I'd be pretty scared if I was like, I'm the rebel spy and the Empire's chasing us. This is a terrible situation. I could get in huge trouble here. I was never picked as the rebel spy, so I don't know. Actually, that's a lie. I was picked as an adult.
You have that resting I'm a spy face.
Do I?
Yes.
I don't look like I work for the Empire.
No. You look too miserable.
What?
I feel like if you work for the Empire, you have to look happy.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Explain all of the Moffs. Explain the entire ISB board. They're all miserable.
Yeah, but you'd be like an underling. You'd be like the guy working at like one of the data pads. You have to look happy.
What
on the
about
bridge.
what about what's her face from Andor with the stick up her ass?
Commanding officer?
You've heard it here, folks. Tim thinks people who work for the Empire in line level jobs smile.
Yeah, look at all the people. Look at the people that work at Disney World. And they work at the
Rise of Resistance.
Rise of Resistance ride. They all look. They look so happy. They look like they're having a great time abusing the guests.
I mean,
Like they're having a great time.
I would have a ball in that job. I have often thought about quitting my entire career to go work there because I cannot imagine how therapeutic it feels. A, you get to work in air conditioning at Disney World.
Yeah.
B, you get to yell at people all day for doing the wrong. It's the one place in Disney where you can yell at people when they don't listen to you.
Which is great. And they look like they're having a great time. Honestly, I want to know what the requirements are to get that job. Because I think for 4 hours, that would be great. I would drive to Disney for that. If the pay was, I think the pay would be worth it. And you get tickets and discounts.
Just to yell at people.
Yeah, that would be great. Aren't you, Tim? Shut up, rebel scum.
That was fun watching my wife get yelled at because she wasn't listening to instructions and I was not helping her.
But how awesome would that be to have someone that you know?
Be like, I know you from, shut up!
Shut your mouth, rebel scum!
Stand on the red
Stand
line
in line! You know, can I get a picture? No! Tardis 49's an asshole.
This one. The best was when Danielle was getting yelled at. They said, did I stutter?
That's so awesome. I want that job.
She's laughing and she's like, I'm sorry. Is there anything funny in here? Because the only joke I know of is the rebellion. So good. Anyway.
See, they're having a great time.
Oh, there you go.
They're not officers. I rest my case.
Well, maybe maybe one day when we cash out of all the wonderful things we're working on, Tim and I, you'll find us at Disney World yelling at guests as our retirement plan.
That would be awesome.
Do that for 4 hours, work part-time, go home, stream a little bit, and smoke some meat in the evening and call it a day. That's a full day to me. That sounds
awesome.
wonderful. I worked. I had some leisure time. I got to cook. I don't see what the problem is. Disney, we're available if you need a guest screamers.
All right. Is this where we take a
I feel like
commercial
I
break?
would make an awesome Imperial officer, Tim. I'm just saying.
I think you would. Is this where we take a commercial break and then we go back and talk about High Republic stuff?
It's early, but sure. Let's do it. We'll be right back. And we are back.
This episode's full of murder.
So much murder.
There's a lot of death. A lot of people died.
I was kind of shocked as to how he killed people, and I figured like the no-names would die. I did not see Jackie and Yord eating it in this episode.
No. I have to say, like, cinematic-wise, choreography-wise, like, all of the combat and everything, like, probably some of my favorite lightsaber action scenes I've ever seen in Star Wars. Like, this was an awesome fight sequence. Like, all of it together, like, from start to finish, was phenomenal. They did a great job. Someone said that there was a quote saying that they wanted to outdo Duel of the Fates.
They gave it a worthy attempt, but no.
The choreography in this episode is damn good.
Oh, it was excellent. It was excellent.
They did
It was
a really good job.
the fight sequences were, and it was all, I don't want to say seamless, but the way they floated from area to area and then just continued the fight in various ways. They made room for dialogue. I thought the pacing was good. I didn't realize this whole episode was just going to be that. Was, you know, obviously the reveal, which, by the way,
We all saw it coming. Like, there's no way you didn't see that coming.
yeah, so don't be the person who, and again, this is Tim and I calling a spade a spade. Don't be the person who says it's bad writing because we knew it was him all the time. They wanted us to know it was him the entire time. There is a bait and switch happening in front of all of you, and then something bigger is going to be revealed. You'll complain about that too. And it's not going to matter who Kamir was at this point. I do want to know what Kamir's Darth name is, though.
I want to know. Yeah, but I want to know what his lineage is. He says he wants an apprentice. He wants an acolyte. So that's the other thing too, is like I think we were all under the agreement that an acolyte is under an apprentice, right? Like the apprentice is looking for the acolyte. So that
An acolyte is someone who's not quite a Sith yet.
Right, they're not a Sith yet, right? So like you have the apprentice, and then you have an acolyte that's underneath the apprentice, and the job is for those two to then take the place of the original master, so that the rule of two continue on. So I think that's the next part of this, is that this guy is looking for his acolyte so that he can then become the master.
He also talks about freedom.
Yeah, but that's the other thing too. Is he wants to be free. So I'd assume he wants to be free of his master, right?
Yep.
So there's more to this than that. Like everyone's looking at like the surface, and they're biting at all of this like stupid stuff, and they're not giving the episodes time to breathe and looking at it in its entirety. Like the whole, I need to go back and listen to that whole dialogue at the end where he's quoting something. Do you know what that is?
Mm-mm.
I have no idea what that is, and I'm sure someone knows. But that entire bit at the end, I'm sure, is super important.
What's interesting too is, I would say the last time the Jedi were dealing with the Sith at this point, it's probably, they say in the movie in Phantom Menace, what was it, 1,000 years?
Yeah, over a millennia.
So at this point, it's like 850-ish, let's say, years since Jedi have seen a Sith. And again, the trend of the Jedi just trying to bury things and make them go away and not want to face facts and whatnot. I guarantee you the Jedi knew the Sith were out there somewhere.
He even says it. He says it. He says that I am not allowed to exist. So he has to kill anyone that ever sees him. So like that in of itself talks about how, like, why, like, Yadi Mundi could say, like, why the whole, like, we haven't seen the Sith, because anyone who saw the Sith died.
Which will be interesting to see where they go now.
And of course they and that leads into the whole cover up.
Yep.
The Jedi say the Sith do not exist. And so if that's to get out, then that shows that they're fallible. How can people trust them? Like the entire base falls apart.
It's bad for business.
It's bad for business.
That's what the Sith represent. The Sith is bad, or they're bad for Jedi business. So again, I stick with the fact that, yeah, there's Jedi that knew, but overall, they're going to keep the secret to the point where one of your, he's not is he Master? Master Soul.
Uh-huh.
Is like, what are you?
Yeah.
To the point where a Jedi Master doesn't even, like us, we're like, oh, red lightsaber. Okay. He's either a dark Force user or a Sith immediately. This guy, you use the Jedi arts, but you're no Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know, and they're masters. It is such an insane, I don't want to say conspiracy theory, but it's an effort to cover it up, to keep, and I'm going to keep saying it, to keep business flowing.
Yeah, it's power.
That you're some of the most trusted people in your order have no idea what's about to happen. And here we are.
This is like the Catholic
face to
Church.
face.
It's like the Catholic Church, and like them trying to hold power, and then you find out that like the Greek pantheon exists. Like, oh shit, oh no, how do we explain all of this? Is a problem. It's just it's like the same idea. It's like it's the anti-Jedi. Like, how can the Jedi be like this all-powerful, all-knowing thing if it's the anti-Jedi shows up? I've enjoyed it so far.
And again, you can think what you want. You don't have to like it. That's totally fine. I'm intrigued because I really want to know what the master apprentice pupil relationship is here.
There's also some tie-in with the witches.
Master.
There's some tie-in with the witches because she even said, Osha even said, like, he was in my head.
Yeah,
he was like my mom. My mom could do that.
He was also the one calling her back.
Uh-huh.
Because when she heard it in her head, it sounded like May, but then when she got close, he said it the same exact way. She heard it in her head, like May said it.
I also want to know where the tie-in is with him and Saul. There's something there.
Yeah, because he said, what did he say? I've accepted my darkness. What have you done with it?
Yeah, and he's like, don't you don't you recognize me or don't you remember me? So they know each other. They've met at some point. And I'm assuming it's somewhere on that planet where the fire was.
Maybe it's something even older than that for him.
I don't know. I'm intrigued. I've really enjoyed the ride so far. Like, it's been fun. Like, I'm not looking for like an award-winning, like that was Andor for me. Like, Andor is like that award-winning performance. Like, that is a drama. Like, that's a lot of things. This Star Wars experience has been very like lighthearted for me. Like, this is almost like the Book of Boba Fett, where it's been like like it's not my favorite, but it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
It's been fun, and I don't know when George Lucas said this, but it was making the rounds this week about people trying to take the dialogue of Star Wars too seriously when it's supposed to be a little campy and silly, and you know. And again, all of these things that people are like, oh, the writing's terrible. Sure, there's some really cheesy lines in this show, but again, like Jar Jar Binks existed in the prequel trilogy. Mm-hmm. Like, let's all sit down and take a seat. Let's accept. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. Move on. The fact that people still watch it and it's like the third or fifth most viewed show on streaming because of it, it's cracking me up, because it's like they're just going to make more if you continue hate watching it. I'm just warning you ahead of time, because they don't differentiate on a metric when they're like, oh, this person watched it. Oh, they didn't like it, though. They just go, this person watched it. Whoop.
Yeah, honestly, the combat alone in this episode would make me want more. So like I have a hard time like understanding like why people are shitting on it so hard when there's other pieces of Star Wars content where it's like, oh, you're okay with that, but this is the problem.
I mean, you should go watch Star Wars Resistance if you want to really bad. That show's unwatchable to me.
Like,
unwatchable. I can't watch it.
I tried watching Alphabet Squadron and I couldn't sit through it. Like, I got really bored.
The other big thing that I saw people getting upset with was like, how's he turning off the lightsabers? This is ridiculous. So cortosis is a metal that's existed since Legends.
He was slamming it up against their lightsabers.
Cortosis absorbs energy. It's used as body armor against blaster bolts for the most part. But
was his helmet made out of that as well?
His helmet was also made out of cortosis. Also, the idea that he, people are like, oh, I guess with Magneto now, he can't read. That is also a Legends thing. A lot of the Sith did not need their helmets. They wore it so Jedi couldn't read their minds.
That's sick.
Because you can't penetrate through cortosis, because, again, it absorbs energy. What is the Force? The Force is living energy.
I thought it was
can't penetrate through the helmet. Now, I will say this. There's a plot hole in that, because how is he getting into other people's minds if cortosis is cortosis?
Can it not go out?
They would have to come up with some reason, because if it absorbs energy, it absorbs energy, in my opinion. So if you're putting energy out, it's going to absorb that. If you're taking energy in, it's going to absorb that. So I would say that is a little bit of a plot hole, but I'm sure they can find a way to explain it. But yeah, that's how that all works. And that is all
headbutted a lightsaber. Like, that was so cool.
His it
was his
gauntlets.
wrist. His gauntlet is what was disabling the lightsabers. He would slam it against their hilts.
But when he would headbutt it, it could do the same thing, because it's also made of cortosis. But if you saw, Master Soul had it too. Because he did it at one point as well. And then Jekki used his own against him at one point too.
Yeah.
Or was it Yord? I can't remember. One of them used it.
He grabbed his helmet.
His helmet, yes.
He had his helmet in his hand and slammed it.
Yeah, and it shorted out the lightsaber. Because, again, cortosis absorbs energy, which is why they were temporarily like...
He got his neck snapped.
I can't believe everyone's dead.
Like, I wonder if that lightsaber, too, is the one that Leslie was talking about. The one where he untwisted it and the Tonto blade came out. That was so sick.
How he killed Jekki.
Like, I can't believe he killed, like, she's gone. Like, that's like, I was expecting like the no-name Jedi to die. Like, that kind of made sense, but to kill Yord and to kill Jekki was crazy to me, because I really enjoyed their characters. It was really fun. So now we're on this turning point. Like, we saw Soul get really pissed off, like, kind of dabbled on the dark side a little bit from the looks of it. It was just a huge turning point in the story for me. That was wild. But the lightsaber that he had was really cool, because he untwisted it and a short blade came out, and that's when he stabbed her 3 times. Just da da da. I'm glad I watched it last night because Kyler's been watching those episodes with me, and I was like, I'm really glad I watched this one last night because that was a lot of killing.
There was a lot of
A
killing.
lot of killing.
But you think for the people that didn't like George's character, now he's dead, you should be happy. But no.
Are they sad? Are they upset?
I'm just being a dick.
Oh, because I really liked his character. I thought he was really fun. Like he was he was kind of prude. He's a little prick. He does everything by the rules. I liked him.
People didn't like him because of those interviews where he said Anakin instead of Luke.
Oh my God. God forbid.
But he's dead now, so they should be happy.
Look, that's what you get. You got what you deserved.
Oh, yeah. I can go through the Easter eggs from Screen Rant. So we got Kelnaka's lightsaber. I wouldn't consider that an Easter egg. It was just kind of sitting on the floor.
It was kind of just there. He grabbed it.
I was very excited for Jackie. I was like, oh, she's going to dual wield. Nope. He cut it in half. We talked about cortosis. Again, it's a Legends thing. It exists in canon too, but it's.
Have we seen it before? Is this the first time?
I think on screen it might be the first time. It's again, like I said, it's used a lot in body armor to defend against blaster bolts. So I think Balls' rig from Rogue One, the guy with the minigun. Mm-hmm. I think he's wearing.
So Cortosis shows up in Rebels magazine issue 30. It shows up in Thrawn Alliances.
Dr. Aphra, War of the Bounty Hunters.
That's
in
Empire
canon.
5. And Star Wars Uprising was the first time that it was pictured.
In Legends, it's in KOTOR.
Uh-huh.
It's in the Revan book. It's in KOTOR 2. It's in the Old Republic. It's in Darth Bane's books as well. It's in the Darth Plagueis book. Oh, it's in the Darth Plagueis book.
Oh, interesting. He's totally going to show up, right?
That's
he
what I
has to
think.
show up.
I'm like positive it's him and not. Here's why. Before we go back to Easter eggs, it makes more sense for it to be him because it's the link to Palpatine that's missing in the story right now.
What if he becomes the Acolyte?
Who? Palpatine?
No, Plagueis.
Because his master was Tenebrous. Tenebrae. I keep getting them confused and saying the wrong name. His master is Tenebrous.
What race is Tenebrous?
A Bith.
Oh, damn.
Alex made a really funny joke about like people that didn't know that, and then this Bith Star Wars Sith comes out.
He's like an
and it's
octopus-looking guy.
Isn't that the guy from the Cantina Band?
It is.
It's like.
Could you imagine that evil motherfucker coming out with a saxophone?
I mean, he looks badass. Look him up.
No, his armor looks awesome. When he has his helmet off, though, he looks silly as fuck. It's just the big butt forehead with the eyes. So I don't know, dude. Like, how does Plagueis play into this? That he had already killed Tenebrous?
Yeah, he would have already killed Tenebrous.
And then he would be on his own. So after he killed Tenebrous, he kind of like at least in the book, he hops around a bit.
I'm trying to see how long the moon can live. So the moon lives till about 200 or 300 years. It all works perfectly. They're considered young adults at 95.
Oh, they're like Yodas.
It works. The timeline works perfectly for it to be Plagueis. So think about it.
That'd be great.
We go through the next few episodes. Now that we know Kamir is the Sith, the final episode is Kamir bowing somewhere and going like, my master. And then the camera turns and there he is.
Yeah. Huh.
And he's like Lord Plagueis or something like that. And it's Plagueis in his laboratory. And that's how the show ends till season 2. But the whole time they're making you think that this is the Sith Lord, this is the Sith Lord, this is the Sith Lord.
There's no way.
No, he's the apprentice. He's just the way he was talking during the fight, the way he was going about himself,
Yep.
the way he's even training May screams that he doesn't fully know what he's doing. Does he have power? Yes, he's attained massive amounts of power.
He's scary.
As the Sith should be. There's only 2 of them. They
He's
should always
terrifying.
But this is the problem. If you read the Darth Bane books, this is the issue. Is they all want it to be this.
Yeah.
And if you want to be that, you have to kill other people to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only room for so many egos in the room. That's basically how it goes. Like we can't all be this. Only 2 of us can be this at a time. You have to also remember a rule of 2. What's interesting is Darth Bane's apprentice was also his lover.
Oh.
So there's I don't know, how would you say that?
Some passion.
Yeah, and the reasoning behind like rule of 2, not 1, 2.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my lover.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
But also, you have to remember, too, Kamir sat there the whole time and talked about breaking the rules and how there are no rules if you don't follow them and all this stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
again, the Sith don't always follow. Look at Palpatine. He had multiple pupils.
Yes.
And he knew Maul was still alive.
I think people are they're really stretching. Like they just
Well, they want to be mad. And I
why?
told this
Why
to
do they
Tim
wanna
before
be
the
mad?
show.
I'm so
This show, 5 episodes in, has more total reviews than The Mandalorian has across all 3 of its seasons. It's literally, it's one thing to not like it. It's one thing to leave, you can leave a review. That's fine. But it's at the point where you are a Karen who didn't get the right steak at Outback Steakhouse, and you have now taken to the internet to complain about it on Google reviews and Yelp, and that you have become the Karen that which you despise. You have lived long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I just don't understand.
Usually when I don't like a show, I stop watching it. I try to watch
That's the
Master
whole
of None.
thing. Like why do they keep watching? If they don't like it, just turn it off.
I tried to watch Master of None with Aziz Ansari. I made it through 3 episodes and was like, this isn't for me, and turned it off. I didn't go on Reddit. I didn't go on Twitter.
There are so many shows that I don't like that after I watch an episode, I just turn it off. Mm-hmm. And then maybe on stream I'm like, I didn't like it. And then maybe we'll talk about it a little bit. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not just gonna spend every waking moment making sure that everyone knows how much I hate it. If it's not for you, it's just not for you.
And that's totally fine. No one's saying you have to like it.
It's also okay to like bits and pieces of Star Wars.
I'll say to you all what I said to someone else 10 years ago when this happened, and it was like, oh, Disney's going to ruin everything. And I'll caveat that in a second. Disney's going to ruin everything and blah, 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 and this is not canon anymore. Mickey did not come in your house, take all of your Legends books and comics, put them on a front pile on your front lawn, and burn them. You still have access to all of that. In fact, on Audible, they label them Legends. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to find them. Additionally,
Not on my watch.
Additionally, you're at the point now where you're grouping yourself with people who are saying things like, well, Andor isn't considered Disney Star Wars, but Acolyte is. I'm sorry. You're grasping at straws now. You cannot say one thing is and one thing isn't and cherry pick what you want. Andor is one of the best pieces of Star Wars content ever made. Tim and I did not realize that until the show fully concluded.
Yeah.
It is one of the best, and it was under the Disney watch. Everyone went bananas over Mandalorian Season 1. Everyone. Thinking it was some of the best Star Wars content to ever come out. Obi-Wan, mixed reviews. Rogue One, also on Disney's watch. Like, you can't pick and choose. It's okay to say some things are bad and some things are good. And someone made a great point in my Discord, Tim. They said in 10 years, this won't even be a conversation because the kids who grew up on this will be the ones that are like, this is some of the best Star Wars content
Yeah,
ever.
all the old guard, the grumpy shits are going to be dead.
Because my age people don't like the prequels. And, and I'll group myself in because I used to be way worse about this. Over time, I've tried to get better. we're the ones who complain about, and I still think episode 1 and 2 are trash, but that's me. That's my opinion. I'm not going to come after you because you don't like it. We didn't like it. I love episode 3. I think it's great. But the people that are Tim's age and maybe a little younger are the ones who are like, prequels are great because that's what I grew up on.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you, Tim. I'm saying your generation. Like
right.
Rex.
No, like,
Rex is a perfect example.
Like people around my age are all like Clone Wars fanatics. They love Clone Wars. They don't like other pieces of Star Wars content. They love Clone Wars.
I just and I think it's like, you know, people are like, oh, you know, we're just making yellow lightsabers out of nowhere here because Rey has one. It's like, no, the Temple Guards had yellow lightsabers. It is
Yellow
literally the
lightsabers have
Guardian
been around
class.
for a long time, you shits.
It's literally the Guardian class of lightsabers. Like if you classify them, I don't know if they do that in canon. To be honest, I know that was a Legends thing. Like different colors represented different disciplines within the order.
Remember that?
So, again, this is where I get exhausted because people are saying things that don't add up, and it's like you're going after things that are in Legends, and you did not have that same energy when it was in Legends. Come on, there's aliens called Star Weirds in Legends. Come on, work with me here. It's supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun, go have fun with something else. That's
Not
it.
on my Star Wars.
Like, anyway.
That's so exhausting, man. Like I couldn't imagine like loving something so much and then like getting upset with it and then just like holding on and then continuing to hold on to it. Like I get it. You love Star Wars, but there are definitely things that you don't love about Star Wars, and that's okay. So why don't you just continue loving the things that you love about Star Wars?
Totally fine. We all survived Game of Thrones season 8. We did it. We made it through, and because of that, we got House of the Dragon. It's going to be okay, I promise. And if it's not for you, go watch House of the Dragon.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to go down this list so we can wrap this up. We talked about Cortosis. We talked about Master Soul saying you are no Jedi. We talked about the Cortosis helmet, not a new ability, even though this article says it is. Power of the Master and Apprentice. Jackie and Soul, when they took on Khmer, was definitely more of a match than anyone else that had gone after him.
Yes.
But Jackie died. So
She
didn't
got
fully
shanked.
work.
That was
talked
intense.
Tim talked about the hidden saber. What is that called?
It looked like it was some type of like Tonto blade. Like it was like just like a short sword. Like it was like...
So essentially what he did, because someone screenshot
It came out of the hilt. He twisted it.
Turns it out of the hilt, it clicks, and then another blade ignites from the bottom piece.
And I'm curious if that's the new lightsaber that they designed for the show.
I mean, that makes sense. It's so a Sith lightsaber, though.
It
Like
looks
a
cool as shit.
Jedi would never carry something like that. It's just so like deceptive. I could see Ahsoka because she likes the. Doesn't she have the? Is that called the Tonto blade?
I think she has a shorter blade. I think that one might be considered a Tonto blade.
This is they're calling it more a hidden blade.
Yeah, it's like
an
knife.
assassin's like knife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Khmer's Maze Master. We talked about that. Ooh, that was a good line when Jackie dies and Saul says she was just a child, and he's like, "You brought her here."
Yeah, honestly, like the dialogue was so good in this episode.
That was a badass line because that's such a
It was
Sith
phenomenal.
thing to say.
And the
Like-
way that even they ended it, like, Soul, what did you do? You know, and it's like, I'll tell you. And then it just like, we don't know. Gotta wait till next week.
Holding the lightsaber to May's head, that was an Anakin Kylo move.
Ah.
The Sith have been confirmed for Acolyte. We knew that already. I don't know why that's an Easter egg. Which Darth is he, though? I agree with that question. I want to know what his Darth name is.
Smiley Face.
He's gonna be new. He's not gonna be someone we know. Now, people are saying he could be. Is it Darth Venomous?
That would be so sick if the smile is like Venom. Oh.
Well, because he's adept with poison, and Darth Venomous. Now, Darth Venomous is supposed to be in the lineage of Bane. And he was supposed to have been found by Tenebris. So that goes back onto the Bane side, or the Tenebris side. Venomous was good with poison. That's the big thing with that.
Venomous seems to be another whatever that race is.
Bith, they could
Yeah.
retcon that. That's an easy one. There's no pictures of him. That's an easy one to retcon.
Yeah, everything seems to be fan made.
Yeah, that's an easy one to retcon. And it wouldn't bother me. It's not like I have a reference point where I'd be like upset.
Yeah, there's no canon reference of him at all.
So he could be Darth Venomous. But then that would mean Tenebrae. But again, they could. Someone made a great point. They're taking the skeleton of a lot of legend stuff and then, massaging it to make it.
Yeah, because Dave even said there's so much content out there. Why would I reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, which is why he's doing Heir to the Empire, but he's doing it his way. So I could he be Darth Venomous? Sure. Could he still be Plagueis's? Sure. Could it be Tenebrous? Sure. Any of those are
be
possible.
Something new.
I have a feeling he's someone new, but I did like the little. But the poison could also just be a nod to that.
Sure.
When he made her that, so who knows? But that I think is going to be the fun part of the next 3 episodes is figuring out which Darth is he and who's his master.
Yeah.
Because he is not the master. May says, who said it? May laments that Osha has been brainwashed and all. Oh, yes. May says that to Osha that the Jedi turned her against.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. Yeah. A little Anakin nod. Huh?
The 2 aliens, when they're walking back to the ship, are playing a very low-tech version of Dejarik, which is the game on the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Here was one, the Force healing. I knew people were going to get crazy about that.
I don't understand why.
Sith can Force heal. That is that. I don't know if it's canon, but it's definitely Legends because it's in multiple video games. I mean, you can't raid an Empire. Well, I guess you could play one of the other classes, but there's a whole Sith healing class with like Dark Heal and all this stuff in Star Wars: The Old Republic. So if we're gonna get mad about Sith healing, you're getting mad at Legends content
But this
again.
is in line with being able to manipulate midichlorians to do things.
To heal, right?
And so, like, if the witches knew how to manipulate midichlorians in a way through like their magic, and if he had powers similar to what his or her mom could do, then that would make sense. Like he could also then manipulate matter like that.
This article saying it's the first time we've seen Force healing outside the sequel trilogy. Doesn't Grogu heal in Mandalorian?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, Grogu heals Din because Din's about to like die after getting his ass kicked.
Last thing, when Camille heals Osha, there's a piece of Kylo Ren's theme playing in that part, and people are saying, does that indicate that there is a Force dyad?
Maybe. I mean, like, look at. I also thought it was interesting with his helmet, how it has that whatever that style, that Japanese style, like breaking something and then mending it back together.
The from
I forget what it's called, but it's just like Kylo Ren's mask as well, where it's got like the crack through it, which I kind of was like, is that a nod to that? Is it the same kind of idea?
Kintsugi.
Kitsugi.
But that's with gold specifically.
Well, but
Use
yeah, but
gold
like,
to repair it.
Well, yeah, but it's the same. But like, they also did the same idea with Kylo Ren's mask. Like they did it in Ahsoka. They also did it with Kylo Ren with like, but it was like red down his face mask. But yeah, so
My last
Easter eggs
thing
here and there. It was fun.
on the dyad, I want to give you my most outlandish theory. That is, I like to do this from time to time, where it's just completely not true, but I have to put it out there to get it out of my brain.
Sure.
You played KOTOR 2 or you didn't?
No.
Okay, so in KOTOR 2, your character, which was later canonized in Legends as Mitra Surik, you are essentially a wound in the Force. You're a void. You are hurting the Force. That's your existence. I have this inkling that these girls, because of the way they were created, and this would separate them from Anakin, are some sort of void or wound in the Force.
Oh, interesting.
Like there's something not right about them.
Yeah, they're like a abomination.
Even the fact and the way they interact and the way they're connected, that there's something wrong with the way they were created.
Oh man, what if we got some Dune shit going on here, Kevin?
Something like that, or what if one of them dies and then the other one dies too? Like what if there's, and again, you could bring the dyad situation in. And for clarity, Mitra Surik is not the only wound in the Force in KOTOR 2. Nihilus is too. Nihilus is the one who he basically eats planets.
Yeah, he's a planet eater.
To keep himself alive because he needs to feed on the
cool.
Force. Scion, you've probably seen him too. He has the red. I think he was in 1. No, he's in 2. I can't remember which one he's in. His whole body's gray and decrepit, and literally the fibers of his being are being held together by the anger and rage inside of him, channeling through the dark side of the Force.
That's so dope.
the only reason he's still alive is because he's being kept alive by anger and hatred. The 3 of them, I believe, don't get me wrong. So Nihilus has the eternal hunger. Scion is living through negative emotions. And then Mitra Surik is the Jedi exile, which Darth Traya is trying to manipulate in the story. That's what you go through. Here's why I'm putting this theory out there. Leslie Headland has said numerous times she's a fan of the Old Republic. She loves Legends content. She wanted to put as much as she could into the show. Her favorite character is Darth Traya.
Oh,
She has said this in multiple interviews.
interesting.
Darth Traya's whole thing when you meet her in the game, she pretends to be a Jedi, which she's not lying. That's the whole thing, is she doesn't lie to you the entire game. She just bends the truth. Which is the most Sith thing to do. Because I'm sure Kamir at some point is going to say to her, I never lied to you. I just told you. He never lied to her. Not once did he lie to her. He says things like the master.
Yeah.
He never says him.
Right.
So I don't know. I have this weird feeling that we could create something new in canon with some sort of wound or void in the Force.
That's cool. I like that.
With these two sisters made through the dark, whatever you want to call it, magic, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it didn't go the way it was supposed to go.
Right.
Anakin would be the perfection of that, in my opinion.
Oh, Kevin, I love this. That's a really good take.
That's
God,
my
I hope
insane
Yeah, I
theory.
really hope that works out. I like that. I like this.
So-
I like this whole they're an abomination of the Force and they're hurting it instead of doing good. Ooh, and that's where the Jedi get involved. Ooh, this is so good, and that's why this Sith would want one of the twins, the more evil one, because if they're already an abomination of the Force, then an evil abomination. Oh my God.
So, taking a step even further, the two sides of the coin. The Jedi get tipped off about this, which is why they show up and they're so aggressive about taking the children. Because usually when Jedi go to take a child, I'm not saying they're not aggressive. Watch the latest SWTOR cinematic where they take this two twins again, or I should say siblings, they're not twins. And, they rip the one away from the other one that's more force sensitive.
rough.
So I'm not saying they don't do that, but the way they go about that is very aggressive. And obviously we're learning there's more to the story, which we already knew in the flashback. The second piece is the Sith. If he is the pupil of Tenebris or Plagueis, and we know that Plagueis is a scientist, wants to screw with midichlorians and mess around, create life, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Which I know people are like, the book's not canon, the book's not. Let's just base it off the book and what's in the book. If that's the case, why wouldn't this be the first experiment? Yeah. Or one of the experiments, I won't say the first. So his desire to train her might be selfish, but his desire to bring her to his master might be his instructions right now.
Yeah. Ooh.
And that might be where the falling out comes in the Sith is, well, he wants to train her to be his apprentice. Plagueis wants to chop her up into tiny pieces and mess with midichlorians.
Ooh.
Or Tenebris. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, Kevin, this is so good.
So I'm trying to really think about why she keeps saying that in interviews. And that's the thing I keep coming back to. Like, what if there's some sort of... And I'm not... Like, what if they are a mistake of some sort? There's some sort of force abomination, these two girls. And that's why the Jedi are like, we need to control it. Versus the Sith who are like, we need to harness it.
Right.
Because in the game... You end up on Malachor, and she wants to do crazy dark side rituals to you once she reveals herself. Now I want to play the game on my Switch again. I just can't handle the controls. They bother me so much.
So okay, so then
Story's
so
damn
then
good.
what do you think is who's the guy from Squid Games?
Master Soul.
So what do you think Soul did?
I think they
What happened?
I think they killed all the witches to get to the girls.
Okay, so you think that's the so okay. All right, we
They
already
were
talked
so
about that.
they were so desperate
Yeah.
because of whatever this thing is.
Right. It's got to be deeper than what we originally thought it was.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
we want to train to. Please, they don't
Yeah,
do that
yeah.
under those circumstances.
No, they don't commit.
Also,
like a small
he would have
genocide.
killed Kamir had he not been stopped.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Holy crap, dude! The anger
So we
in
know
him.
we
Ooh.
know he can kill.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know.
Well, that was quite the little session there, Kevin.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that theory out and get your feelings. I'm glad you liked it.
I love it.
It could be BS. It could be me just living in my Legends head, and that's
it would
fine.
But it'd be great to see that many tie-ins because then all of like the niche nerds, when it comes to just like that level of Star Wars, like they would love that. You would
It
you would
also-
have to love that. You would have to appreciate that level of intricacy.
They won't. It
Okay.
also
Fair.
it also keeps Anakin. You know, I know the big thing is like, well, Anakin's not special anymore, which I disagree with because it's very different how the two circumstances. You know, the Force kind of
There's no way they would retcon the most important character in Star Wars. Come on, guys, you're dumb.
Either the Force like pushed Plagueis and Palpatine to do this and make this happen, or like the Force did it itself. Whatever, it's ambiguous. But if there's some sort of wound or mistake, while that could be how they get created, it's what sparks the idea to get us to the point of Anakin. It's like, oh well, if this mistake, like if this happened, then it could be refined. We could create the greatest Sith that ever lived, you know, and bring back the Sith Empire. That could be the thought process based on what happened with these girls. So that's my theory. It's my insane theory for Acolyte. I love a good insane theory.
I like that. Let's roll with it. You
Cool.
heard it here.
All right.
If it all comes to fruition, Kevin,
that'd be
you-
wild.
yeah, I owe you a drink or something.
Yeah, I'll take it. That would be. I'd buy myself a drink at that point because that'd be the first time I was like that on
I
point.
really want you to be right, though. I really want that to be the thing. I wanted it to be kind of like Dune-esque in a way.
All the Lucas people that listen to the podcast are going to hear this and be like, well, shit, we should have hired them to do this. Damn it.
It's usually the case, Kevin. It's usually what we end up with.
Always. Our phone's ringing off the hook. Not really, but it could. The line's free right now. You can check out Tim.
Hey.
He's Darkness429 everywhere on the internet. He streams Monday through Friday and sometimes on
me.
Saturday. He's playing Elden Ring right now. Are you up to Erdtree yet, or are you still in the main story?
Still the main story. I'm doing a complete playthrough from start to finish.
Okay.
And then we'll take
Enjoy
on the DLC.
that. And I'll enjoy you all watching it because I'm not playing that game.
I'm having a good time.
I'm glad you are. I'm
like
not
it.
playing the game. Mike's like, he's like, oh, will you dive into Erdtree? I'm like, Mike, people are complaining it's harder. Why would I do that?
Apparently, they're just playing the game wrong. Apparently, there's a completely different leveling system in Erdtree.
Yeah.
And so if you level the character correctly, then you're fine. I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get there.
I heard it requires reading menus, though.
Reading the card explains the card. And he's KMagic101 on Twitch, on YouTube. He's Kevin X Vision over on Twitter. What you doing right now? What are you playing? What do you got going on? You streaming?
I haven't because
You're
I've
busy
been working on the change with GCX to Universal
Yeah,
Studios.
big props to you and Mindy and the rest of the team for, and I've seen a lot of people commend us for being able to flip an event like this so quickly.
Yeah.
So
Playing two GCXs this year. It's been fun.
well done, Kevin.
Thanks.
Great job.
I don't get paid for that, by the way. I just get paid for one, but I played two. And you can check us out. We're Star Wars Scotch, Star Wars Scotch everywhere on the internet. Rate, review, subscribe. We appreciate the comments, the nice ones.
I mean, all comments are good comments.
Hey, Tim.
Keep them coming, guys.
Apparently, we're shills and simps, so
We're getting paid?
I haven't seen the check yet.
What?
so-
I didn't know we were getting paid.
I would really love that check to come through if I'm going to be.
I mean, if we're shilling, then I would like
I
to
have
get
no problem
paid.
with shilling, but I want to get paid for
I
it.
will
at least.
shill I will shill for the mouse.
I just want to get paid.
Just give me the money and then we'll talk.
I will put #ad all over everything, but I need the money. But until next time, Tim.
May the force be with you. You simp.